So here is the brand new Galaxy Watch 8 Classic compared to the Watch 6 Classic. And I gotta say right off the bat, when I first heard about the squircle design, I was not a fan. The renders that I saw, not a fan at all. But seeing this in person, it actually looks way better. And I'm actually really excited to buy one of these for myself. And I do have affiliate links in the description and pinned comment to the best available deals if you guys are interested. So the first big difference you'll see here is the tiles are completely different. So if we look at this fitness tile, for example, you can now swipe up on it and get more information and different things to interact with. Previously, it's just whatever's on the tile, you swipe up, nothing happens. So a lot more customizability on the tiles now. And if I go all the way to the end here, we look at some new tiles and see that there are a bunch of new options. I don't have time to go through all this in this video, but I will definitely be checking these out in future videos. The next noticeable difference is going to be with the app screen. You can see it's a different layout. It's more of a squared off grid instead of this kind of offset pattern here. If I scroll to the bottom and tap this here, you'll see an option to show the featured applications on top. And you can also change from a grid to a list view. You could do this before as well though. And this lets you show featured apps based on your app usage at the top. So in this top area here, if you frequently use specific applications, those are just gonna show up there automatically. And you can turn that on and off with that setting I just showed you. Switching to the white version of the Classic and looking at our notifications, you can see a difference here as well. Notifications are now stacked and you can just scroll up and down through those. Previously, you would have had to tap this little icon here at the bottom to see all of them to swipe through like that. So it's just one less step to see your notifications. Something else I've noticed when using these watches is that the new bezel is actually a lot easier to rotate with one hand. Previously you could do it, but it's just a bit more stiff. Using 2 fingers is a lot easier. It's actually super smooth with 2 fingers, but there's kind of this knurling on the side, and it just makes it a whole lot easier to move this with just 1 finger. Looking over at the sides of the device, we see another significant change here, and it's the addition of the quick button. And this is just an extra button to act as another shortcut to various parts of the watch. And it works exactly the same as on the Watch Ultra. Looking back over at the side again, you can actually see that the sensor panel here doesn't stick out as much. It's a lot more flat compared to the Watch 6 Classic, and that's going to make it a bit better at getting accurate readings. Besides the flatness of the sensors on the back, we also get entirely new sensors on the Watch 8 Classic versus the Watch 6 Classic as well, so we should see an improvement in the accuracy of our health measurements. Taking a closer look at the back of the watches, you can see that the band connection style is completely different. Previously, you would just push in this button here and pull out, and then you'd be able to connect traditional style watch bands here, and then you just push the button again and slide it back in to reconnect it. With the new one, you now have this push button on the body itself, and this actually disconnects the entire band. And when you want to reconnect it, you just line it up and give it a firm push, and it snaps into place. But I have noticed that it is a bit easier to reconnect it if you just push that button in again, then it actually connects a whole lot easier. And since the band does completely disconnect here, that means that in order to use a traditional style watch, because if you look in here, you can't connect any other watch band to this. So if you want to use a traditional watch band, you're going to need some sort of adapter. I'm sure there's probably already somebody on Amazon that's got an adapter for this. If not, there'll probably be one soon. So just be aware of that. You can't just immediately swap out your older bands on this watch. Now let's take a look at the Samsung Health application to see what changes are there. And as we scroll through this, everything's actually looking really similar. You have this new running coach tile here that was previously not available. And as I go through this, I can see that mindfulness now is a much larger tile, so you can immediately jump into breathing exercises. And if we keep going down here, everything again is still looking pretty much the same until we get down towards the bottom. And now we have these new options here called antioxidant index, vascular load, and AGE's index. So AGE's index was available on the Galaxy Watch 7 and the Watch Ultra, but it was not available on the Watch 6 Classic, which we're comparing to now. So antioxidant index and vascular load are 2 of the new features. If we tap antioxidant index, you can see whoever took the last reading, it was pretty low. I'm sure mine's probably gonna be even lower. We'll go ahead and hit measure here, and you can see the results on your phone. You can see the progress on your phone rather. Get some more information here, and then we can start taking our measurement. And we just need to turn the watch around, and you can see that these LEDs are lighting up on the back. Now I just hold my thumb on it firmly. I'll feel a vibration when it starts, and I'll feel a double vibration when it ends, and I can turn it around, and also very low. Awesome. I guess I gotta work on that. Vascular load is something that I can't test now because you have to have your watch on for an extended period of time to actually test this. So once I get my Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, I'll be able to actually test this and let you guys know more about that feature. Another upgrade with the Watch 8 Classic over the Watch 6 Classic is the battery size. So you can see here the battery capacity is a little bit larger on the Watch 8 Classic. Storage size gets a significant upgrade on the Watch 8 Classic, going from 16 gigabytes all the way up to 64 gigabytes, but the RAM stays the same at 2 gigabytes. Jumping into the advanced settings, we now get a Now Bar style option. And the Now Bar is something that sort of existed on previous Galaxy watches. It was that icon that would show up at the bottom when you had an active application, like maybe a stopwatch or an exercise running. And it would just be this dot icon at the bottom. But now you can get more of a bar style like what we see on Samsung's phones. And if I scroll down here, we can see that you can actually select which style you want for each specific application you have installed, which is pretty nice. And here's a side-by-side of the styles. This left one is the original style of the stopwatch. It's just that little icon. If you tap it, it would take you into the application. And on the right side, on the Classic, you actually can see the stopwatch counting up right here. You can also still tap it and take you into the application, but it's nice to see that you can get all the information you need right on the watch face now. Taking a look at the buttons and gestures menu, you can see this action option, and that is for the quick button, so you can just change what that does here. You'll get a bunch of different options. Again, this is very similar to what we get on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. And this menu lets you decide how the quick button works, so either a short press or a double press to activate the feature. If we jump into the double press menu, you can see that these are actually exactly the same. So the double press button features are identical between these two watches. The press and hold menu is now called the long press, but again, it works exactly the same as it did before, so there's that. Something we do see a change with is gestures. So you can see that we now have a shake and knock knock gesture. The shake gesture is just for shaking your wrist to do a few different actions, and you can see those here. And we also have a knock knock gesture. Again, you make this knocking gesture with your hand, and you can complete these actions here. Now the double pinch gesture is where we get the biggest change, because you can now fully customize on a per app basis how it functions, which is awesome. Before, you just had whatever the presets were that Samsung set, and that was it. But an important thing to keep in mind about all of these software features I'm showing you guys is that the One UI 8 watch update, which will eventually be coming to older Galaxy watches, are going to add a lot of those software features in. Like this double pinch gesture, I'm pretty sure is going to get all of these as well. There are some things that it may not get, like it might not get the knock knock gesture or the shake gesture. And some of the health features like the vascular load that I showed you guys earlier, as well as the antioxidant index feature, are likely not going to be coming to the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic either. The Watch 8 Classic also gets a new processor compared to the Watch 6 Classic. And I can tell just by kind of scrolling through things that it is a bit more smooth. I mean, the Watch 6 Classic was already pretty smooth, but it takes it just a bit further in terms of smoothness. And as I'm going through the watch faces here, I did see that there are some new night mode watch faces, and these will actually turn on automatically when it gets dark out. And this actually looks pretty neat. It does look like one of those kind of glow-in-the-dark watch things. I thought that was neat and wanted to show it to you guys. The Classic comes in two different colors. You have this white color and a black color. And that white accents are also on the side of the watch, and on the back it's also white as well. So there's a big difference in these two colors. I mean, it's mostly white versus silver and black. The Watch 8 Classic also gets Gemini now, which is ridiculously powerful, but I wasn't able to test it in my hands-on time, so you guys have to stay tuned for my full review. In terms of price, it's going to be about $500 for the Bluetooth version and $550 for the LTE version. And while the price is pretty high for this device, Samsung usually has some incredible pre-order deals going on, and I'll have those linked in the description and a pinned comment if you're interested. So is the Watch 8 Classic worth the upgrade from the Watch 6 Classic? Well, it's going to depend on what you're looking for. If you really like this squircle design with those shiny sides, or maybe you prefer the white version of it instead, then yeah, I think the style-wise, personally, I think it's great. So if you're a fan of the design, it's going to come down to the health features and the exclusive new features you get on the Watch 8 Classic, which will be the antioxidant index, as well as the vascular load and the AGE index, which was not available on the 6 Classic. You're also going to get better health tracking in general because of the improved sensors, and the watch should be a little bit snappier in terms of performance thanks to the better processor. And if you want to see my impressions on the brand new Z Fold 7, which I have a mixed opinion on, you can check out this video here. That's it for this tech episode, guys. Jesus loves you, and I'll catch you in the next one.